government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
Good morning, and welcome back to whatever this is with me, Cool Frog. Uh, I feel that I did everybody a slight disservice last night as I went ahead and had myself set up for a Rumble exclusive and accidentally ended the stream. Ended the stream completely. It really wasn't intended to be that way, but it happened. Another morning stream. I just, I don't know. I'm awake. I'm awake. It's super early in the morning because I fell asleep last night nice and early. So, 5, 6 hours of sleep. My body decides to, wake up. So, what do? Well, I'm a streamer, so I'd like to stream. So here I am streaming. Yeah, one more morning. It happens to be that way. What's up, Keith Greger? Good to see you. Good to see you. So good morning to you, Boomer. As as far as that goes, it just I can't stop myself from going live. Gotta go live. Gotta do something. Gotta keep the interest sparked. Like I was saying, though, is I went to go do a show last night, and I made a mistake. Made a mistake by bumping the end stream, and I completely and totally ended the stream as opposed to moving myself from YouTube to Rumble, and that kind of upset me. I was very upset that I had done such a thing, and looking at the stuff that I had there, I think I'm gonna actually use it for tonight. I'm gonna use it for tonight. So I got Rumble exclusives set up. I hope to God I don't do the same thing I did last time and screw that up. Screwing that up really, is very upsetting, and I'll do better. I'll do better next time. And I just, I don't know. Brings me to this morning. And sitting here for the last 10 minutes just made me think. I'm like, yesterday was fairly successful. With this early morning show. People have the tendency to like it. Janita too. Hi, Cool Frog, aka Froggle Pop. Long time no see. Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you're here. And as successful as it has been for me to run multiple different shows, I've done this several times. This isn't the first time that I would have run this particular, time slot or any other time slot during the day. I used to run a noon show for a bit. I've always run the late night shtick. The late night shtick has really evolved. Has really evolved quite a bit. It's taken on a personality of its own from being a 10:30 Central time zone where I originally was, to moving it to 10:30 Mountain Standard when I moved here, which was made it an hour later, to be able to move it to 7:30 or 8:30 Mountain Standard. It seems like it semi works to move it earlier. I get a lot of people that like the earlier time slot, though it's not really all that early. It seems like there's some kind of scheduling uh, makeup that I can actually do to get those time zones in a or that time frame in a better set time, as opposed to it being either 7:30 or 8:30, depending on what day it is. Well, the reason that it's dependent on days is because of the wife's schedule. Wife's schedule, kind of dictates that um, on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, as well as Saturdays, or Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, on opposite weeks, because her schedule's every other Wednesday. Um, she does run until 7 o'clock for sure. Now, last week she ran one day that she was one of the days that she had to work. She ran into um, that she didn't make it home until about 8:15. That gave me super short time to be ready and go. I didn't really care for it being that quick. I'd rather spend a few moments with her before I go live. Pretty much the way I put it for tadpoles, I go to work. So then door closes and I'm in this room and he goes to sleep. He goes to sleep. He pays attention to what his mom says for him and calls it a night. Um, I don't know what the best schedule is going to be. If there's going to be a better schedule. So, I just kind of oh no. Oh no. I didn't realize that Mr. Malloy was actually live as well. Oh well. Oh well. I really seriously can't go ahead and go off of everybody else's schedules on YouTube. To go off of everybody else's schedules on YouTube is really hard to do. Even if you only do a couple of mornings, that could work. Well, see, and that's kind of what I was thinking is I can do as long as I'm awake. As long as I'm awake, if those nights, those Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays, because I can't start earlier, run late, would put me to a later time slot. I don't want to run the show that late. I'd rather keep it between 4:30, 5 o'clock. So as far as scheduling goes, I'd rather it be that I'd run these shows around 4:35 if I'm awake. If it's too much later than that, I don't know if I'd actually run a show that day. I don't think that I don't it, and it's there. No set schedule for this particular show. This particular show is just a thing that I like to do here and there. Seeing I actually get a great audience. What's up, Eris? How you doing? Brain just started functioning, but I'm here. Coffee, need coffee. You get a lot of people that are just coming around, waking up for the day, and getting ready to do whatever it is that they're doing. Um, Cloud Illusions, what's up? Good to see you. Uh, so I the scheduling thing is really difficult to juggle. Good morning, Puffer. Yes, I am very well. I'm very well. I'm trying to figure out the best way to give everybody a schedule for me and what my schedule is going to look like if I continue to run this, whatever this is, this early in the morning. Um, I like doing it, but I'm concerned for like Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, maybe even Sundays, that I wouldn't have enough sleep in. So if it went past a particular hour of the morning, that you wouldn't see me. You wouldn't see me at all. Which I think would be okay. I think it would be okay. So you might only see me like, I don't know, Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, or Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. And that's exactly what it is. I just woke up from about 6.5 hours of sleep. So Frog's taken care of. Frog's taken care of. Frog had plenty of sleep this morning and is raring to go. Raring to go to get this day started. And I'm not tired. I'm wide awake. I just woke up. Just woke up like all of you. But I would assume that I wouldn't be here every day through the week, especially those Thursdays and Fridays for sure would be. I want to say for sure, but then at the same time, Thursdays might be a toss up. It really depends on what happens on Wednesday. It depends on my wife's schedule. Because I don't want to do a disservice to her. I don't want to do the disservice to Tadpole, which was always the ordeal with running these earlier shows. I've done plenty of different versions and variations at different times of day, and allowed Tadpole to still be around, and that's where you get the Tadpole screams are free type thing, and I don't want to do that to him. I don't want to make that a deal or something that would be something to pay attention to. So I'm going to try doing this show just a few days a week. Just a few days a week. You won't see me every single day. I don't think that would be something that's necessary for me and or anybody else. I think most of you would agree with me that is okay, that you would not see me every single morning. As I went live, I looked and there was nobody live. The moment I realized that I've gone live, it looks as though there are people that are live. And this is like, well, what do I do? Do I not run a show and to appease them, or do I just run a show? They copied you. It's just Cloud Illusions. Did they? They're like, oh, he went live. Hurry up, go live. And really, I mean, there's not a lot. It looks like Meme Copium might be going live here shortly. That's something to pay attention to. Malloy's running an after party at 5 o'clock in the morning. She really? Jed McCoy, how is Mr. Cool Frog doing today? I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. I hope everything's going well for you as well. They're jealous of your viewership. Are they? Because I mean, I really, you know, want to do something different than I ever had. I don't want to do the same thing again. I don't want to run into where I'm mundanely walking into every single day with a setup show for this and a um, feel that I need to be there. I don't want to feel that I need to be there for everybody. Though I know you all appreciate me being here. I don't want to be that guy that needs to be live every morning. If I'm live every morning, it can be hard for me. It was one of the hardest things to do is to set an alarm to have fun. I want to set an alarm to have fun. I do have an alarm set, but the thing's set for like 9:30. That's a you've slept too long. You should be up. That's what that alarm's for. Only for that. Only for that. No other reason. I love 7:16 a.m. live. Might as well drink my cold brew and listen to chat about. Yeah, I mean, and I get that. There's a lot of people that like that, having somebody to listen to this early in the morning. Just having somebody to listen to is all they really wanted. They didn't care who it was, they didn't care what it was about. Just as long as there was somebody there that they could listen to and enjoy. And I think that I've actually found something. But take a break, bro. Yes, we're thankful for you, but you need to take care of you. I'm well rested. I'm well rested. I just woke up after 6.5 hours of sleep, which is normal for me. So it's a natural wake up. There's no alarm forcing me to be up to do this. Is I'm awake. I'm awake, and that's where I'm going with it. Is being that I'm awake and rearing and ready to go. I think that could be okay. Now there's a thing there for a while, um, that for whatever reason I was dubbed as being the drama channel. I'm not a drama channel. Never been, never will, ever. I'm not the drama. I don't like it. I don't want anybody thinking that this is what that is. It's not. It's not going to go that way. I'm not going to allow it to go that way. There's nothing, zero things that I like about drama. I hate drama. It drives me nuts. That is true, though. I like live person when I log into YouTube. Exactly. There's a lot of people that just so happen to like it that there's somebody live. It doesn't matter who's live. They just like that there's somebody live, somebody out in the world that's awake with them. You've never been about drama. Someone bumped their head. They believe you do. Uh, I I've never been the drama. There's people that have brought the bullshit drama and tried to make it about that, and I really seriously hate it. I've tried to do whatever I can to move away from that each and every single time. I don't want it. I don't want any drama. I really, if I wanted drama, I'd go and talk to my mom and dad. It's simple and easy as that. I'd go talk to my mom. If I wanted the drama, that's all I need to do is just call her. Why? Because that's what she does. That's what she does. She immediately turns it into a dramatic, oh, woe is me, oh, this, that, and the other. And I don't want that. I want nothing to do with that. I don't like it. It drives me crazy. Hang in there. I like your channel. I enjoy doing what I do, and that's why No, basically, how I started off the conversation this morning was I made a mistake. Nandor's man bun. Did someone say drama? Here I am. Yes, there you are. Good to see you, Nandor. I just so happened to be awake and figured, well, I'll go run a show. I'll go run a show, check it out, and see what feel out the audience and try creating something, just a little bit of a conversation. These wee morning hours, that it be. Froggle Pop, I do not like drama either. But hey, new job, I'm back in US. So drama, even though I'm not particularly want it, nor does my hubby. Yeah, see, I no, not gonna do the drama. I'm not gonna do it. Even if it rears its ugly head. Even if it rears its ugly head, I will negate it. I will move on, and I'll do something else. Feel. Nandor wants me to feel up the audience. Are you sure that's what you'd like me to do, Nandor? Eggs are still dead. No volunteer swimmers. Okay. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. We'll be sure not to send our volunteer swimmers your way. Did you say feel out the audience? Yes, I did say feel out the audience, not up, but I mean, certain people might, maybe entice me to go that route. Don't listen to Nandor. I do not want to point at the doll again. Again? She made you point at the doll before. Things that she says. I'm concerned for you, Jared. Is still dead, even if you poke them with a stick. Jab them with a stick. With throbbing sticks. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, Nandor. It's a joke, a bad joke. I know. That's good. Man up, Jared. Don't put that doll out of work. Yeah, I mean, everybody needs work. Everybody needs work. Everybody needs to get paid in some way, shape, or form. Touch that doll in the right spots, and you might find out. Prabhupada, can you show how long your hair is to your butt? Like no, not that long. And your beard. So the beard, is there, to the sternum. The rest of it's just, shoulder length at the moment. Some of this back here, because of the levels in it or whatever, it might be a little bit longer than that, but because I used to be one of those that would take my hair and I'd shave all the way around the sides and the back. I'd shave all around the sides and the back, and I'd leave that all super short, and then just leave the top grow. When I started leaving hair grow and not cutting it at all, is where you run into the difference between the underside and the hair on top. So it is fairly long for what it is. Never had my hair this long. I can bury a 12-inch ruler underneath the beard. So give you a little bit of context on how long that really is. All doll lives matter. Yes, doll lives matter. Be nice to your dolls. Don't do anything too dramatic to them. Should I pumpkin spice it? What? What are you doing to chat? I mean, if you're talking pumpkin spice in your coffee or your drink, I find it weird. I've tried it and I don't like it. Have to go to work. Love seeing you in the morning. Again, Frog. Oh, you have a wonderful day at work. You did. You pumpkin spiced it. Ew. Ew. I don't really care for it. That's not something that I really care for when it comes down to it. It's just, it's too much. It's too much for me personally. It's too much for me. I don't know. So where am I at? 5 concurrent viewers. What's the competition at? It's at 10. I say competition because the competition right now, this interesting as it is, because he wasn't live the moment I went live, that I noticed was the Michael Malloy show. The Michael Malloy show has some of the same audience that likes to engage and chat. I don't know if that was intended. I'm gonna pop out of there too. I was sitting in Discord, and it looked like the couple people that were sitting in Discord just so happened to be awake and put themselves out of Discord for the morning. So I'm going to talk to them while I'm talking to you, because it's the easy way to do it. It's the easy way to do it, right? I don't want to ignore you. So basically, what's going on is, hopefully we can get something scheduled out to a point. Again, I'm not going to turn on alarms. I'm not going to set alarms for this show. This show is not the main gist of this channel. It's never been. To do any of that, my original shtick with Cool Frog will be the main anchor of this show. That's 7:30 Mountain Standard Time or 8:30 on certain days is going to still be the main gist of the show. Now, last night as I was running a show that I screwed up on, I had Fast Group show up. Fast Group showed up and he immediately he wanted to come in, and I said Friday we'll do that. So after Friday fun game night, depending on who's running that particular show, after that I'll go live and do an open mic. Fast Group will be there, as well as whoever else decides to show up. So all over the from time zone to time zone. So then you can assume Saturday mornings I will not be here for one of these whatever this is shows. I'm really not. Haven't hairdresser to touch my hair for 4 years, and it's weird. What happens if your hair without nobody else touching it except yourself? Suddenly, you can take a seat on your hair. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Of course you can. Of course you can. I've run into certain issues with it. Putting Tadpole on my shoulders, give him piggyback, and he sits on the hair, and you're like, oh, okay. That's what happens when somebody sits on your hair. So it's only that long that he can sit on it. And he's actually done it a couple times for him. Had to, pull the hair up before I throw him up on my shoulders. So I get your point of sitting on it, though. I'm not looking forward to it. I would like to go to a hairstylist or a barber of sorts, and get everything all lined out and straightened out, and take out some of the layers that are in there, because some of these hairs aren't as long as the ones that are underneath. So it's to go to somebody to get that perfectly lined out would be great. But if you don't know the person, you don't trust them. You don't trust them to do the job correctly. I know that's their job. They do hair. Well, that doesn't really matter when it comes down to it, because they're not going to do what I want them to do. They're going to do what they want to do, what they've been taught to do. Back in my hometown, there's one young lady that would listen to me and do what I wanted her to do, as opposed to doing what her boss wanted her to do. And he'd get mad each and every single time I was in there. And he's like, she did it wrong. I'm like, no, she didn't. And he's like, that's not how haircuts work. And I'm like, you're a little off there, dude. I like it this way. This is the way I asked for it. He's like, yeah, you used to come to me and I used to do it the other way. I'm like, right. And you wouldn't do what I asked you to do. She would. She would cut it exactly the way I would want it cut. She wouldn't question having to have particular, fades and whatever else, and this needs to be, in line with that type thing. I hated it. It drove me nuts. I don't want somebody to do whatever they want to do with my hair. I want them to do what I want them to do to my hair. It's mine, not theirs. One time ago, when I was a hippie, my hair was down to my back of my calf. Wow. Almost to my ankles. Had to lift my head just to sit and pee. I bet you'd have to actually, pull all that up, wrap it up, put a couple, bunches around it just to keep it up over. I couldn't imagine trying to move that out of the way so you could wipe your butt. And if you didn't get it all out of the way, what would happen to it? Would it end up in the toilet? Would it, end up somewhere else? Would it, what? Kind of a gross situation could come out of that. And I don't want to take away from somebody else's audience here. I haven't had someone cut my hair for almost 10 years. kids. They screw everything up. I do it myself. And that's I've always done is for the last so many years, probably 10 years, where I'd just shave the sides and the back for myself, and just trim out whatever I wanted. My beard's never been this long. What's up, beautiful? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, I went live yet one more time, just early in the morning. It's not going to be an everyday thing. That's where I originated the show from, was talking schedule. I'm not going to do it. I went live, and the first thing I said is I felt bad that I did a disservice last night and actually messed up getting into Rumble. The Rumble exclusive got yeeted, and I still have all the content that I was going to cover. So there will be a Rumble exclusive tonight again, after a regular show. Should be 7:30 Mountain Standard Time this Wednesday. This awesome Wednesday that we're in. Hope Rabbit is okay. Yeah, I hope so too. What's wrong with Rabbit? It's saddening and disturbing, because I know there's several people around these communities that are aged well, and I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through that. I really don't. It'd be too hard, too difficult to make that be a thing. Yes. Stacy, I've seen my competition working or whatever. Malloy's got Clumsy in his audience, and she just said Saturday I'm going to be with Frog. She will. She will be with me. 8:30 Mountain Standard Time for conversations with Cool Frog. She will. It should be a fun night. Yeah, whatever she's going through, exactly. Whatever she's going through, prayers to Rabbit. I really hope that everything's okay. My neighbor has nail and hair salon, and she said I'd charge 440 pounds usually for your hair, but if you do a TikTok, it'd be free. I think she wanted me to go bald. Nah, I've shaved my head several times, so they just take it all off. It's not something that I really want to do at this point in time, though I've thought about it. It's just like every couple weeks, hair does an interesting thing as it grows. It's like every 2 weeks it looks good, the other 2 weeks it looks bad. So it was looking good the other day. It looks all right now, I guess. But like next week I won't like it. And I got to push myself through the week of not actually cutting my hair in any way, shape, or form. And then I go into the next and I'm like, okay, now it looks good again. Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it for somebody else. Is to do a TikTok on my hair. I mean, I'd want to post it on my own channel as opposed to posting it on theirs. It sound old as fuck, but the prices of getting your hair and nails done now is just out the window. When you add in a tip, sorry, I'm not paying $300 or $400 for a cut and color. Yeah, see, that's the one thing that people never. I don't get it. I don't get it. It used to be, as a kid, would go down, would get a haircut. It'd be $20. It'd be $20 for the half hour, and there'd be three of us. So mom would go and pay for the three of us to get her hair done, and she'd go and throw $100 bill at her, and here's your tip. After the hour and a half ish of sitting there and getting our hair cut, and it's you're like, she just seriously made $50 an hour. She normally made $40 an hour. I'm like, that's a lot of money. Oh, but they're doing a service. I'm like, does that require you to tip them? I never understood the tipping your hairdresser. They make a lot more money than you do usually. The whole thing it floors me on how people would go about doing that. Tip your hairdresser. And I get it. If they do a good job and you like them, you give them a tip. It shows your appreciation. They're probably looking at it as like, sucker, I got him again. Guys' hair's always different. Well, of course it is. I don't know who to tip. I tip the furniture delivery guys. Okay. I mean, the delivery drivers, I have the tendency to try tipping them if I have the ability to tip them. Otherwise, I don't always tip them either. They're doing their job. They're getting paid. They're getting paid. Why do I need to tip you if you're reliant on the tip and how much you're making from the tips? It turns your days that you don't get a tip, like that pizza driver, and he comes here, he goes and delivers my pizza. If I don't tip him that day, if he's agitated or angry because he didn't make $1, he didn't make in a tip, you're doing your job wrong. You're doing your job wrong, in my opinion. My daughter paid for a wash and trim. It was $120. I was like, what the fuck? No, give me scissors next time. I can take care of that trim. Yeah, right. That's for a trim. For a trim, oh, that's a lot. I tip everyone, but I have almost middle of back length hair. I used to get box braids. Costs as much as it does now to a simple wash and cut. Yeah, it's amazing. They all have tip jar. Even Amazon Deliverman wants tips on a tip. New Jersey sucks. Yeah, I bet it does. Sucks that's where you're at. But yeah, I couldn't imagine having to leave a tip for the delivery driver for dropping off an Amazon package. You're a UPS driver, you're an Amazon guy, those are high paying jobs. They make a lot of money. Especially once they get into it. You can see how much they do make. They make a lot of money. I tip the furniture guys too, just to be nice. I'm delivering pizza. I was paid less, just like a waitress. So I'd get mad when people just gave me the change. I'd hope that some of that had changed. I hope that some of that had changed when it came to, coof and stuff like that happening, where you worst tip was 3 cents. Gee, thank you for the 3 pennies. That would be horrible, especially if you're actually dependent on those tips. Like I said, usually pizza driver might get something, but I doubt anybody else is really going to get a tip from me. Not going to give it to the postman, not going to give it to the Amazon delivery driver. I was livid that day. I bet you were. Amazon delivery truck broke my house. They back up my drive and pulled overhead wires to the point of ripping off part of my roof. They paid for it. Wow. That's amazing. Tipped them for just bringing me my shit. The United States Postal Service just tosses stuff on the side of the road because they work too hard. I bet they do. I bet they do work very hard in some areas. I say that because the lady that does the postal service around here, that drives her own vehicle from one end of town to the next and delivers. We have boxes out in the road, boxes that have multiple, and even for the houses, they don't go house to house. They go to the delivery boxes, and each house has their own box down in the corner. So she really doesn't have to get out of her vehicle, walk down the street, sort through everything and put it in each individual house's, mailbox. She pulls up to a box over here. There's a box across the street for everybody that's up that side. And then there's a box that's up and around the corner for the next bunch. It's not as difficult as some make it be. Every couple of years, I give my postal lady a coffee gift card. She's really super good. That's interesting. I know there used to be remember as a kid, things have obviously changed since the postman would actually come walk up the street. And when you'd see him come up, you go jump outside and try grabbing the mail from him. And he'd never let you grab the mail. You always had to stick it through the door slot. You'd stick it through the door slot, and then you'd go ahead and have to pick it up. As opposed to just handing it to you. Like, I'm right here. Can't hand it to you. It's illegal. It's really strange. For Uncle Pop, we paid thousands of dollars to move back to the United States. Bought a house, so I think we're good in anybody's tip jar for a while. But hey, our Amazon driver brings his own tip jar. That's weird. That's a little weird. Daughter was fortunate the other day, got $100 tip. Someone really was taking pity on the sit of the day, but she had to share the tip with everyone there. Now, seeing that's where I have an issue. I don't want my tip going to the cook. I don't want my tip going to the other waitress that can't do the job. If I'm going to tip somebody and I'm in a restaurant and I want to tip somebody, I want the tip to go to the person that I'm tipping. I don't want my tip being split between 5 other people that are refusing to do their job or not doing their job, as well. I don't even know if they're doing their job as well. Why would I want to tip them? I don't want to tip them. And that's where I have the tendency not to tip at a restaurant or even go to a restaurant because of that kind of stuff. I really seriously will not sit down in a restaurant for that matter. I hate it. It's disturbing. Exactly. Tip sharing is bunk. There's no reason to have to share tips. When you're sharing tips, it, it's gone too far. It's gone too far because now you're looking out for the other guy to make sure that everybody gets treated correctly, and it's like no. If I'm in the restaurant and have the money to tip somebody enough, and I go throw them $100 bill to only find out that they have to split it with 3 or 4 other people, I'm going to be very upset. I don't want to pay everybody else. It's not what it's about. It's about doing and giving something to somebody for doing their job correctly. Cash tips are the best. It never happened. They don't have to share. Yeah, I wouldn't want to share. I would not want to share my tips with somebody else. I'd be like, I don't want to. I'd tell the customer I don't want the tip. They'd be like, why? Because I don't want to share it with everybody else. I only go out fast food because I don't want to cook. I have the tendency not even do fast food. I'll cook. I'll just cook. I don't. I usually don't have a problem with cooking. If I don't want to cook, that's where it turns into a pizza night, and it gets delivered. She works for D&D. Everything goes in a jar and is split at the end of the shift. If anyone bitches, the company will take the tips away. Not allowed. I'd say take it away. Take it away. I don't want it. I don't want to share my tips with somebody else. I like to cook, but not every day. Tonight, I am making orange chicken with rice. That actually sounds good. It sounds tasty. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet tonight. It's going on 6 o'clock. It's too early for me to even think about what to do for dinner tonight. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Now in some states they're now being paid $15 an hour plus the tips. So there's servers. There's servers that are making more money than the average everyday citizen. They put themselves to the point of being treated equally. You're going to cut your tip. You're going to cut your tip. It's most states have a rule once you make so much in a tip. After you make so many tips, you're supposed to record it to pay your taxes. How many people you think do that? How many of those people that get tipped actually go ahead and file their taxes on all the tips that they actually make? I'd like to see the number of people that don't record how much money they made in tips through the year. Here in Michigan, that doesn't happen. What doesn't happen? Making $15 an hour for a job. A lot of that should change. You have to claim the credit ones, not the cash. Yeah, see, that's not true. That's not true. Look into your states. Look into your states. The states' rulings on that. I don't know what it's like here in South Dakota, but I know in Minnesota, if you made yourself over $100, even in cash, in a day, you must claim it. You had to make a certain amount of dollars. Once you made $100, you must claim that you made the $100. I doubt that there's many people that actually do that. I asked, why does he need his own tip jar? He said, for my mom. I said, okay, but I know his mom since she's a patient. And he said he does not need any. He lives with his mom and does not pay rent. You definitely ain't getting shit from me, brother. I would not be giving him a damn thing. Here you're taxed on your sales. It is true here. It is frauding your employer. 15%. Whether you get 15% on average or not. Uncle only knew about 15% of whatever my total tab was for the night. It is all I ever claimed. If you don't make minimum wage, you have to cover the rest. Yeah, which is understandable. If you didn't make the minimum wage, that they would actually cover so much. Be sure that you're up to a certain level if you didn't make enough tips. I'm trying to think about it because I've only been here in South Dakota for a bit, and as I was working at the hotel doing night audit, I did the audit for the restaurant that was attached as well, which always had a line for tips. So they had to have done the same thing where they pulled tips, and that's what each one of them made. And then there's always another line for tips paid out. And that wasn't always the same number. That must have been the percentage over and above the tip that was paid. That had to have been that. At that point, it's a donation, not a tip. Exactly. Never been in a pooling of tips jobs, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, see, I only know from the business side of things. Being a manager in places like Radio Shack, yeah, I would get tips. Would get tips for certain things, but and because I was in Minnesota, the ruling was if you made over $100 in tips, you had to claim it. Smoke break. Uh oh. Just time of the morning to go smoke one. Oh, what are you smoking, Aris? Froggle Pop, I wish us nurses would get tips. Not going to happen, but hey, I'm happy when my patients recover and go home. See that's an interesting thought when it comes down to it. Is we're so into tipping, service jobs, certain jobs when it comes to serving food or that type of ordeal. And I know that we've talked about package delivery people getting tipped, but yeah, I've never. That's an interesting thought. Why don't doctors and nurses get tips? Oh, because we just assume that they make more. Nurses make more than doctors usually, to start off with. Only once doctor actually seasoned do they start making more money than what the nurses would be. But yeah, next time I go to a doctor, I'm going to throw them a tip. Be like, here's your tip, and see what they say about that. See what they say about receiving a tip, and if it's something that they really appreciate. When you're paid $20 to $30 an hour, demanding tips is ridiculous. Starting wage for nurses would be about $23 an hour. Well, yeah, if they're demanding it, if they're demanding tips, they ain't getting shit from me. Nobody gets a damn thing from me when they demand it. I don't go off people's attitudes and whims. You have to tip me. No, I ain't gonna tip you. I ain't gonna tip you if you're gonna beg me to pay you, to tip you. You don't deserve it. That reminds me of the one pizza delivery guy in Minnesota. He went to go grab the pizza from him, and he was down by the front door of the building. I was up on the second floor, so I, come down the steps and all the way down the hallway, and I had Tadpole in my arm. Going down to, to pick that up. And he had it sitting on the table in front of me as Koof was the thing, and he's kind of standing there. And it was already paid for. So I go ahead, I can grab the box and said, "Thank you, have a good day." And he's like, "Oh man, where's my tip?" I'm like, "Where's your tip?" Like, what kind of attitude is that? And he's like, "I'm so sick of people thinking that they're entitled and that they don't have to give me tips." I'm like, entitled and don't want to give you a tip? He said, "Do you see what's in my arms?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "This is my $1 million investment is right here." It's I'm holding on to Tadpole and getting them to understand that I'm not giving you a damn penny, especially when you're going to sit there and clamor for it and cry, "Oh my God, I want, give me. Nah, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Mom would bring cookies and fruit baskets to the doctors when I was in the hospital. That's fun. That's fun. I wish I did make as much money as my hobby cardiologist did. I do not. I simply an anesthesia nurse and take care of you during surgery. I've always been told that nurses make more money than doctors, than seasoned doctors. The seasoned doctors actually make a lot more. But yeah, starting off, doctors is what I've been told don't make as much money. I could be wrong. What we got going on here? Not a bad day. Not a bad day. Sitting at about an hour. Probably only go maybe another half hour, hour at the most. We get off on this tangent of tips. Never really seriously had a job that really tipped very well. Like I said, we get tips at the Radio Shack for doing those little things. They'd appreciate it. They'd give you the couple dollars off of a $3 battery or something. They'd throw a $5 at you and say, keep the change. But that would only happen random occasionally. You really wouldn't get that much. Never worked a server job. The hotel, this one here, I made a couple tips off of it because I'd be the guy that after they won off of the gambling machines, they'd come up and ask you to cash out their winnings for them, and you'd get $1 or $2, maybe a $5, depending on how generous the person really was. I never really seriously made that many tips where I needed to look into the laws and regulations on how much you needed to make before you have to claim. Never that much. Not when we're doing fellowships. I guess I've always heard that it's a thing. It's a thing to pay attention to. Look this up real quick and see what rates are on here in South Dakota. There's no state level income tax. Just federal. Tips received as discretionary gifts to waiters, waitresses, or bartenders are not subject to sales tax. Some businesses collect tips for their employees. If the tip added to the bill and is mandatory charge for services, it is subject to sales tax. If it's recorded on your bill, as being something that a gratuity was added to your bill, then and only then was there a sales tax. And that's a federal sales tax because there's no income tax here. State level wise, just tip cash. Yes, always just tip cash. But yes, each state is slightly different. So if you're moving from one state to the next and you don't know their tax laws, you really have to pay attention to it. So these are saying that anything that was recorded on in a gratuity line. So if you have credit cards, would be recorded, and certain higher paid restaurants, I've seen it before where they add the gratuity for you. You don't get a choice on what your tip is. They tell you how much your tip is. With those types of service restaurants, really it can get agitated and irritating when you walk in there and you're assuming that you ordered your food, you see how much it is, you know that your drinks are going to cost a few extra dollars, and then you get your bill, and instead of it being $25, you're all the way up into like $40. You're like, wait a minute here, what the heck was that? And like, oh, there's a 15% gratuity added to it. And you're like, wait a minute here. I didn't sign up for that. This was never something that I wanted. Pay the bill on the card, slip tip, and cash. I have a tendency to do that for the pizza delivery driver. I'll pay for it online, and then as they show up, I'll go and I'll slip them the $1 or $2 or whatever, so it's not recorded. It's the easiest way to do it. At the golf club I worked at, did that. But they always gave cash on top of it. One guy would walk around with 50s near Christmas time. He was my favorite. He would have been my favorite too. I'd been like, oh, he's here. I'm glad that I'm working tonight. Froggle Pop, I finished nursing school in 1994 after 7 years of studying and 2 qualifications in anesthesia and trauma. And since then, I've been working all over the world, even with kids. That's a long time. It's a long time to be at one job. I've never held a job for that long. I've always walked away from it eventually. Just been like, nah, I'm done with this job. Go get a different one. South Park guys are making waves for not allowing tips at the Casa Bonita. Froggy, you're in my backyard. I walked down to my pond while smoking, heard a plop, look over, had a froggy staring back at me. Ribbit. Overseas, there's a lot of countries that are tipping bad. Who's got the best service? I bet he would get the best service. I love the name, the Froggle Pop. Janina's always called me Froggle Pop since she first started watching this channel way back. I don't even know how long ago. What, 6-8 months now? the staff are upset because the hour is $30 an hour. $30 an hour is a decent rate. Why are people like thinking they're not making as much money as everybody else when seriously, if you just did a very good job at these service jobs, you'd make bank because people pay for the service they receive. Most people, anyway, you pay for the service you receive. You give them shitty service, you don't get a tip. You do a really good job. You're on top of your game. You pay attention to what you're supposed to be paying attention to. They pay you a little bit better. If you got multiple tables and you're still doing top tip job whatever, you're gonna make bank. You're gonna walk out of there with a lot of money in a short period of time. Still $20 an hour is that's a good wage. That's a good wage. The argument from so many about wanting universal basic income type stuff or whatever is the stuff that it's like wait a minute. Well, why would you want that? Why would you want a universal basic income? Why would you want any of that whatsoever? Universal basic incomes is going to level a playing field. You're not gonna be making better than the next guy. You're all going to be on the same rate. Cloud says, "See you next time, Froggy. Doc is awake. Going to spend time with them. You have a wonderful day and enjoy what it is that you're going to be doing with." I'm guessing that the dog is awake, not the dog. I could be wrong. I could be reading that wrong. But you have a wonderful day and enjoy yourself. We'll see you around. 20 an hour. My daughter would have been more than happy with 20. Exactly. I remember first job I had $6.35 an hour, and I was making $10 more than what minimum wage was. That wasn't really the first job. That was the first job where I actually had a wage. The first job that I had before that was cash under the table for doing dishes. I thought of that. They weren't recorded. Nothing was recorded. There's no check that you needed to go take to a bank. They just give you cash every day after you're done with the job. Every day. Go walk up to the register and how long were you here today? 3-4 hours. And they'd pull out whatever it was out of the cash register and pay out. Did I miss something? He is Froggle Pop with a beard. Yes. I am Froggle Pop with a beard, according to Janina. Now, I allow her to say that. I don't know how I'd feel if anybody else did. That's something that she calls me. So maybe keep it at that. Yes, see you around, Cloud. You have a good one. Anybody else going live? Not going to stay here very much longer. I'm getting to the point of wanting to get it out of here pretty soon. Someone saw your magnificent beard a few days ago. They were very impressed. There's quite a few people that really are. It's amazing how many people really do enjoy the beard. They're like, "Oh, he's got a beard. It's so cool." It's just a beard. It's just a beard. but a lot of time, a lot of dedication to actually grow it out that long and not shave it. You can see, I go and I'll itch or whatever, because certain things just happen where you got almost everybody that has a beard, you'll catch them. They'll sit there and play with their beards, you know, over and over again. There's a reason. There's a reason. Both color and length are great. Mm-hmm. Oil it. I don't want to oil it. I've attempted to oil my beard several times. I do have the materials available to do it. I just don't find it as being the thing that I like to do. Because then, by the time you're done doing such a thing, the next day you want to go and wash it. Next day you want to go and wash it. Not that I don't wash it every day, but I don't want to feel like I'm forced to. I'd rather shower every other than every single. And showering every single day can be drying to the skin and irritating in itself. 10 minutes, mate, $20 an hour as starters, but just going to the grocery store, the price of milk is $9 for a pint. Yeah, see, I noticed that our milk here actually had gone down. Right, it was actually 305. It dropped again. So 305 a gallon. So it's not a bad deal. Beardo is great. When the Hubs had his, it felt so nice. He never kept the oil in long term. Yeah, it's really, only on random occasions will I do it. It's dependent on what's happening. If I'm getting ready and I need to actually, dress nicer or whatever, and try looking, a little bit more, more than just casual, then I'll throw the oils in there and I'll, make myself look, so that it doesn't look so frizzy. Otherwise, nah, it's too much work. Price the cantaloupe was $5 last time I went to the store. I was really surprised, actually. The prices of stuff are going down on some stuff. I went and ran produce yesterday. Came home with a pineapple, and I think it was about $1 less expensive than it was the week before. I was really surprised on how some of the prices have actually gone down. Ears of corn were 50 cents. They're down to 33 cents a piece. I think it's getting towards the end of the season for it, so then they're trying to push it, get it out the door. I liked helping him. It was fun combing through someone's beard. Yeah, I've heard plenty of women say such a thing, that they enjoy doing it. That's something that they'd like to do. My wife does not. She if she had her way, I wouldn't have a hair in my head. She'd just shave it all off. She'd rather it just be no beard, no long hair. She's not interested in combing through my beard or doing any of that. She doesn't want any of that whatsoever. Aaron, what's up? Good to see you. I eat a lot of fresh food. It's outrageous. The prices They've been changing, and the fruit just tastes like paper lately. I've been really surprised that my pineapples have actually been fairly sweet lately. It really It's too bad. It's too bad that your stuff's been tasting like paper. That'd be disgusting. I don't want my fruit to taste like paper. Um, yeah, I can't get my wife to touch it. Can't get my wife to touch it. She doesn't want anything to do with the beard. She won't braid it. She won't comb it. She don't want any of that. I've had plenty of people, say that they'd love to do that. They'd love to braid my beard. I'm like, oh, can I braid it? I'm like, through the screen, over the internet. You want to braid my beard? Okay. Froggle Pop, we got Manhattan prices since we are so close, and they say go buy our own cow if you want cheaper. I guess we should, since we have a pony, but I've only milked a cow once in Norway. I mean, buying half a cow or a full cow and storing it, if you have a freezer to do such a thing, is something that's pretty cool. It's something that's pretty cool because if you got the room to do it and the means, you can really save yourself a lot of money. A lot of money. It's the only time I'm glad I'm allergic to fruit. It's extortion. It's extortion, I tell you. Wait, fruit, cows, beards. Where are we at? We were just talking about tips and gratuities, and we're open. We're open to change of subject. You got something you'd like to speak of? You got any questions of any sort? You got any thoughts in your head that you wish to, spew out? Go for it. Go for it. Add to the conversation. Change it up a little bit. 'Tis awesome, and you don't have all the freezer space to split one cow between like 5 friends. Yeah. Yep. Go get a bunch of people together, go buy a cow. Get it processed, and you can each have so much. We've actually talked about getting a freezer. She's like, we don't have room to put it. I'm like, we do have room to put it. We do have room to put a freezer in this apartment, this tiny little apartment that we have. She doesn't think so, but I'd totally figure out how to fit a freezer, whether it be a chest freezer or stand-up freezer, in this apartment. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd get it in here. You're in the Dakotas, right? Yes, I'm South Dakota. Wall Jug is my favorite place in the world. Yeah, I'm in western side of South Dakota. Wall Jug is like center east. Been through it a couple times. Not something that apparently it's an ordeal where people make like monthly trips to that particular store to go to that Wall Drug to actually to go there is supposedly one of the best things in the world. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't get it. And maybe in the future I'll appreciate it a little bit more. It doesn't make any sense to me. New coffee table / freezer. Yep, put it right in the middle of the living room. The best place to put it. You drape it with the sheet. You call it a table. Call it a table. The only issue is having backup power. It's an easy fix, especially if you camp. A small portable generator. Confused, but okay. It's a trap. It's a tourist trap. All of South Dakota is a tourist trap. It's all a huge tourist trap. Tourism, because of the way it's taken a plummet over the last few years because of COOF. We've really seen a huge change. Even in Sturgis Bike Week was really lax compared to most years. There weren't as many motorcycles around as we used to. Frog Pup, we have a lot of land since we bought our house from a broker who wanted to get rid of this place, and the pony came with it. And our family loves her, but cow. What do with cow poo? What do you do with cow poo? Good fertilizer. I don't know if it's how easily it would be, but being that you're in New Jersey, that has a little bit of a lax law. Mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, maybe. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that, because I don't know. I don't know how it really works. Plus, it's great. My husband and I rented an RV during the pandemic, took kids, dogs, friends to South Dakota for 2 weeks and stayed all over. Best trip we ever taken. Yeah, it's a beautiful countryside, that's for sure. Yesterday, I walk outside to go to the grocery, and as I walked out the door, the smoke from the Canadian wildfires was so thick and so heavy that I could smell it. When you can smell it, you know that it's bad. It is just a huge, dark, thick cloud that just covered the whole area. You pretty much couldn't see the mountains. So as beautiful as it is, because of the destruction that's occurred in other places, it's really taken a toll on a lot of things around here. It was bad. It was super thick cover. Start a garden. We had it here too. Yeah, I bet you did. It looked like that smoke pattern was very large. It covered a lot of area. Kind of curious on where it is now. You have the smoke in Minnesota too. It's bad. We're in Minnesota. Did you live before moving to South Dakota? I'm originally from southeast Minnesota, a little town called Winona. And when I met my wife, we moved up. We lived in St. Paul for a few years. And then we moved into Hastings, lived there for a few, and then moved here. I like the politics a lot better. That was my main reasoning for moving here. As far as she went, is she wanted to be closer to her sister. Gives Tadpole a couple cousins to hang out with. So it's kind of a good move. though she misses Minnesota, she really likes Lake Harriet, in the Minneapolis area. She really would prefer to be in around there. I'm glad that we're not. I really don't think that's a good place for a child. But if we ever decided to move out of here for any reason, she's proponent to actually moving back to Minnesota. The cold front pulled it down from the warm front is coming through. It'll move back up. Yeah, it was so super thick. It was bad. I haven't thought of that. And it's legal. Love the idea. Cabbage and smokes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Martin Jeriah, what's up, brother? Good to see you. I know Winona very well. I have family in Roch in Stockton. Sure, Stockton's like right outside of Winona for sure. Went to college in Mankato and St. Paul. Now settled in southern suburb. It's a great school district. So not moving now. Oh, I know where you're at. Great school district. There's only one area south of the city that has a great school district. It's because that valley that you speak of, it really picks up a lot of people that are a little bit more wealthy that can actually afford to pay for the school to be a good school. That's the sad gist of being in these larger towns like St. Paul, like Minneapolis, and you get into the school districts. The school districts are all run down, very poorly funded. It's because of the people that live there. The people that live there aren't funding the schools properly, and that's where the issue comes into play. I know that valley that you speak of that has that really good school district because we looked at that. We looked at that as being a potential before I went ahead and said, nah, we're going to homeschool. We're going to homeschool. And then that was the big thing for Minnesota. Now that we're in South Dakota, the district's not as bad. And it's like, it might be worth actually putting them in schooling for some of it, but only some of it. As I'm still concerned about the ridiculousness of CRT. I know Minnesota did a big thing. The teacher himself, Mr. Walls, decided to remove history classes and put in place CRT classes. Now, when you're teaching CRT and teaching transgenderism as a main ordeal, you're taken away from where the education really should be. So as long as you're in a good district and you can afford to be involved in what is actually happening in the school, is it worth it? It's hard to find a place to live affordable, yes, but once you do, then you stay put. My office in St. Paul, but since the pandemic, I work at home, which I love. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't made people go back to the offices quite yet. Midway is not the best place to drive to work. I bet it's not. I've traveled that whole corridor, the whole all the way up 35, all the way through and around 494, 694. Been through all of that from living in St. Paul and working out of the Mall of America. It's interesting, fun time driving through all of it. The Twin Cities. Now, the interesting is when it comes down to it, it was never a big deal or a problem to drive the hour 45 minutes without an issue. It was never a problem driving that far to go to work and then go back home afterward. It was like a normal day. Now I live here, and the next largest big city is about 45 minutes away, and they're like, "Oh, that's a day trip." Be like, "What? It's 45 minutes away. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You go to the store, you do what you need to do, and you come back home." And they're like, "Yeah," and your day's gone. I'm like, really? This is a very strange ordeal when it comes down to it. Yeah, I was working. I worked at a place called um, the Walking Company. It sold shoes to old ladies. Loved it. Loved it. I made quite a bit of money actually being a shoe salesman. I really enjoyed it. Wow, that cloud cover is huge. Or the smoke cover. The smoke cover is tremendous. And it is still calling out over oh over 200. Over 200 for an AQI. They're actually saying not to go outside today. Ugh. The whole region is covered in smoke. There's so many wildfires. The term wildfires is amazing in itself. The fires weren't spontaneously lit to make them wild. They're out of control to make them wild. Where am I at? Hour and 37. We won't be too much longer here. I think we're gonna call it a day. We're gonna call it a day. Go move on with the day and see what comes of what's next. Because, well, what do I do here? What do I do? Where should I send you? I'll raid somebody. I'll raid somebody for you. Let's do Mr. Malloy. We'll go and raid him. What's the price of TP in your area? New Jersey does not want anyone to take a dump. $8 for 2 rolls. What? In neighborhood, Bruce Springsteen. I couldn't tell you. I don't know exactly what the price of toilet paper is around here off the top of my head. I'd have to let me see here real quick, see if I can't come up with something. Grab one that we usually purchase. About, it's not so bad. Looks like it's about $35 for a 24 family mega roll. So not quite $8. Not quite $8. That's amazing. That's amazing. Invest in a bidet. That's a thought. That's a thought. Definitely a thought. I'd be finding some soft laser, putting 3 shells in the back of the toilet. What are you doing with shells? I've got almost 100 rolls. People come to me for toilet rolls. That's funny. I have seen Demolition Man. Did I miss something? Because it was filmed in the area of the Twin Cities. Did I miss something? We have bidet for men and not for female Japanese toilets. When I'm my money, what? I don't know. That seems a little wild, a little weird, a little wild to even think about. I'm confused. Three shells on toilet. You put 3 shots on a toilet. It immediately comes up with a 59-second clip. Oh my god, I so totally forgot about all this. Thank you for bringing that back to my attention, Aris. Thank you so much. Oh, he doesn't know how to use 3 seashells. Thank you. There's a ton. Get a warning paper. So good. This is so funny. All right, let's do this. It's not that he's going to send you anywhere himself because he doesn't know how to. He won't redirect out of there, but we can redirect to him because we'll redirect to the Michael Malloy show. He's a good guy. He's fun to actually hang out with, and I doubt he's going to be up very much longer. He's supposed to be the after party for whatever he's doing. If you crumple up junk mail, straighten it and repeat. I don't know about that. That sounds a little weird. I don't know about crumpling up. Sounds disgusting. I'll be back tonight, 7:30 Mountain Standard Time for a regular episode of Stick with Cool Frog. Don't forget to rewatch old shows. You'll never be disappointed and the news and politics that we actually talk about around here. I do appreciate you also very much. If you haven't done so, please hit that like button. Share this out to the places you like to share things. If you liked what you've seen, totally do that. If you didn't like what you've seen, do it anyway and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think I can do better next time. I do appreciate y'all so much, and you are going to get redirected to the Michael Malloy Show. Love y'all. Later.